Hi guys, hope you're all well. So I'm just popping on to do a very quick video, and I want to talk to you about an exciting new mini little online voice recorded email reading that I'm going to be offering. So this one is all about tarot mixed in with astrology magic, and what this reading will offer, this is going to be a one card reading and it's going to be £12. And basically what it will do, it will tap into the energy of your birth chart and your astrological sign. So for instance, what that means is every zodiac sign that we have, they all have a tarot card that represents them. And what's really interesting, and this is often what people don't think about or they don't know, is the energy of the tarot can carry quite a lot of influence on our physical world. So sometimes just by having an awareness and knowing the actions of that particular star sign, you can actually overcome so many things you might be up against within the physical world. I always remember there was a time in my life where I had this boss, and I've had some interesting characters in my life, some interesting bosses in all different types of companies I've worked for, but there's always this particular boss that stands out, and they were just very hard work. And I was just reaching a point with this person where I was thinking, what's going on, you know? And often when we're met with physical energy, physical behaviour, we don't necessarily understand how that person is responding because we don't obviously know how their energy is made up. And sometimes we forget and we just assume that everybody works and is like ourselves. And of course that is not the way. And the astrology wheel, the star chart, plays a huge part in all of our inputs and our outputs. But sometimes by understanding, you know, how that person is, we can get a lot more information, and that's where tarot can be really powerful. So that's what I'm going to be basing this reading on. So this reading of £12 will offer you a card, and this could be either around yourself, so it could be around your own birth chart. So as long as you know your date of birth or you know your star sign, that's all I need, and you just give me that information when you place the order. And then basically I can tell you what your tarot card is, what it represents, and how best to deal with it positively as well as negatively. So it can look at patterns, it can look at behaviour, so you have some basic instant tools to your bow. Until I learnt tarot, and obviously I did, you know, my introduction to tarot, which was amazing, but then I went on and did some advanced workshops in tarot, and it was on one of my advanced workshops that I realised, or I understood, that tarot can link in with astrology. I didn't realise that until that point. And what's really interesting for me on a personal level, my mentor sort of got us all to look up our tarot card, which represented our sign. And as soon as I identified with my sign, loads of patterns, loads of behaviours from the past became completely clear as to why they are the way they are. So my star sign is Capricorn. I'm born on the 19th of January, and my tarot card, which represents that, is the Devil. Now that might look quite a sinister card. Don't worry, I'm not growing horns, or you can't see them at the moment. But the Devil holds, all the tarot cards hold light and dark, so they've got positive aspects and negative aspects. But the Devil sometimes represents or can indicate this search for perfection. Now in terms of my working world, I've always strived to be the absolute best I can, whether it's with my spiritual work, with my everyday work that I used to be involved with, my corporate world. But sometimes the Devil pushes himself so hard, they search for something, they're almost on this quest or this mission for something that at times can be almost unachievable. The Devil also can be quite opinionated. Now, I've learnt to really sort of control that aspect, but in the past, I've been very outspoken, I've been quite an arsehole, you know, and there are characters of the Devil. The Devil sometimes likes to have the last word or the last say just to prove a point, even if it ends up coming to a cost of them and it might end up hurting them through the process. That's an energy of the devil. So there's loads and loads of other factors. This is just a very quick, snippet of what this card offers. But obviously, for any Capricorns out there, we can look much, much deeper at this. But this is just a couple of quick examples. Now, I always remember that I was up against a really nightmare boss, and I couldn't work it out. And I was a bit cheeky, and one day I sort of just said off the cuff, oh, randomly, out of interest, what's your star sign? Because I thought it's a bit of a nicer approach than asking for your date of birth, because sometimes people get a little bit offended by that. And this person said to me, oh, I'm a Scorpio, and and that was that. So I thought, right, Scorpio, what's this person's issue? What's this person's problem? And anyone that has a Scorpio energy, you are the death card. So death card's really, really interesting, and it's a water element. So whereas the devil is an earth-based element, so in a lot of ways, the devil actually tries to earth a situation. Water can work in two elements. It can work to our advantage, but it can also hinder us. So if you think of like suffocation, drowning, we can drown in too much water. But the flip side of water, it can be the emotional release of things. We need physical water in order to sort of survive, so to bring life to everything. And what was really interesting in this particular person's case, they were wanting to sort of like, kill off everything as soon as it had the chance to sort of come in and offer something fantastic. So they were very fearful of letting something amazing coming into their world. They just wanted to shut it down. And they'd kind of gone into this energy line of the death card, wanting to just almost kill everything off around them. So that was a slightly negative aspect. Now, death card can be really, really positive, and often it can lead to the rebirth of things, the closing of a chapter, the start of something brand new. So it does encompass loads of great points, but I was really seeing and identifying all of the negative aspects, and death card, wanting to shut everything down, closing everything off, is not good when you're up against the devil card, which is wanting to get the last word, the last say. So it's almost like these two are having a battle of wills, a battle of minds. And as soon as I identified with the cards and I understood the elements, the inputs and the outputs from each person, all of a sudden it was like a huge light bulb moment in my head, went ka-jing, and it makes sense. And sometimes those are energies that we don't always know about if we don't know the background information. And as soon as I sort of picked into that person's energy lines from the tarot card, so many things I was able to take from it, and so many sort of patterns. The other thing with the death card, sometimes a person has been suppressing themselves for a long time, or not giving themselves permission to move forward, and this person was in a really, really unhappy relationship. Suppress. So the guys at work were getting the fire, or the sort of backlash of that. So it all kind of made sense. It became clear. So I thought, what better way, if you're somebody in your world that you're struggling with an aspect of something. So say, for instance, if you just want to understand a little bit more about your own star chart and understand what sort of tarot is linked with you, your inputs and your outputs, your almost yin and yang energy, your positive aspects against your negative, the things to be mindful of, this could be a great sort of reading for you on a personal level. But it might be in your physical world, you're battling with somebody. It could be a relationship, it could be a family member, it could be a boss or an employee, or somebody that you work alongside. It could be in so many areas of your world. And again, if you can either get the date of birth, or if you just know their star sign or can get that information, I will need that in order to be able to conduct the reading. But if you can get that, then we can break it down, we can look at it, and we can try and make sense of maybe what you're dealing with, what you're up against. And also, if it's for somebody else, we can look at your card as well, see what you are, because obviously different star signs will react with people in different ways. To give you an example in a different way, my partner, he's an Aries, so he embodies the energy of the Emperor card. Now, so he's a fire sign, whereas again, I'm Earth. So the devil's wanting to ground, wanting to earth the energy. Aries, one trait of Aries can be quite fiery personality. You know, they can be at times quite tunnel visioned in how they see the world around them. And Earth just wants to put the fire out, whereas the fire wants to continue sort of building on the Earth and growing bigger and bigger. So it's interesting to see how different sort of zodiac signs comprehend and interact with people. And sometimes by knowing that, you can actually overcome physical dynamics with your physical world. So as soon as I understood that this person, this boss, was death energy and they were, you know, all the other elements that make that card up, it became so much easier for me to not change who I was, but work with the energy lines of that person. So all of a sudden I was able to identify, I knew exactly what things would trigger them, so things I could change so that they weren't getting so stressed, so built up. And you know, it made it so much easier to actually encompass a relationship with that person within the working world for the time that we were together. So sometimes just by knowing these little things, it can become so much easier to overcome what at times might feel like a minefield, you know? So, should you be interested in purchasing this new service, all the information is going to be on the link below to this video. So you can click the link and you can go direct to sort of make a purchase. Like I say, just make sure when you place your order that you pop the star sign and the person that you want the card to be around, whether it's yourself, if it is somebody else in your world, just put their name, but most importantly put the connection that they are to you, whether they're an, you know, a boss, an employer, father, mother, whoever it might be, just so I have the full details, because it'll make it easier when connecting. So I'm going to leave the energy of that with you. Like I say, it's £12. Get involved if you're interested. I think it's going to be a really, really handy little tool to have on the services that I offer. Stay safe and well. Much love and blessings. More videos coming soon. Bye.